Welcome to yet another session of ANM at Adda, and I am Avijit Nandi Majumdar. With me I have an evergreen, versatile personality, an 83-year-old young man, a CIA asset, a man who loves to travel, who is globe-trotted, who even today climbs the mountain, who is paratroop. Ask me, I don't know what he has not done in his life. And he is the son of an illustrious father. Welcome to ANM Radha, Prithvi N. Chaudhuri. He is the son of Nirad Chaudhuri. Welcome, Prithvi.
I'm actually Prithvi Narayan Chaudhuri.
Right.
And when I was young, about 10 years old, no one knew me by the name of Prithvi. They used to call me Bablu, and I used to be called Bablu Pahalwan.
Absolutely, but Prithvi Narayan Chaudhuri, Prithvi is Prithvi, means the globe, the world, and you have traveled the world.
You see, my life began probably from the age of 2.5, when my father moved to Delhi in 1942, when Sharad Chandra Bose, the elder brother of Subhash Chandra Bose, was arrested, and my father, not in politics, but every day the police used to raid the house to find out whether he has contact with both Sharad Chandra Bose and Subhash Chandra Bose. The war was going on. I grew up. I could draw the British Union Jack by heart. I could sing God Save the King. And even at that time, like multiplication table, I could tell about the Chinese dynasties.
How did you do that?
Well, I think the contribution is from my father, because he never sent me to school.
You didn't go to school?
No, I never went to school.
You never had formal education?
No, nothing. Zero. Big zero.
Then where did you educate yourself?
Well, my father requested an English lady who was the manageress of the famous crockery manufacturer, Wedgwood, and they had a shop which was called Queensway, now it is Janpath. She taught me how to speak English. But before that, my father said, you have to learn Persian and Sanskrit, and there was a Pandit to teach me Sanskrit and a Maulavi to teach me Urdu, or you can say Persian.
So that was you were a linguist at that, which means, I mean, you have learned so many
languages.
Linguist,
yes, you can say linguist, because I can speak
several languages.
Hindi very fluently. Also.
And where did you grow up?
In Delhi.
Okay. You spent most of your time in Delhi?
Till I graduated. But I was very interested in music. From the age of 5, I could play the violin. And at one point I did play professionally.
So when did you start moving around the globe?
Much later.
And how did you meet?
Much later. You see, 1959, I got my first training in mountaineering. And in 1961, I climbed the 21,690 feet high subsidiary peak of Nanda Devi, me and a Sherpa.
Okay.
So thereafter, the Indian Mountaineering Foundation found me as a good mountaineer, and they used to call me up whenever any expedition was going into the Garhwal or Kumaon mountains.
So you lived a life of adventure, it seems.
Well, I played, at the age of 15, I became the first to win in the National Shooting Championship 3 gold, 1000 meter rifle, 2000 meter rifle and 500 meter rifle. So 3 medals I got. But I could not get a license because I was underage.
So you are quite a sportsman also.
Well, I played football. I was a part of the halfback of Delhi Police.
Okay. That's very interesting.
I learned shooting, riding,
And
gymnastic from Delhi Police. And interestingly, the first Republic Day parade, I was the mascot of Delhi Armed Police taking the salute, saluting Dr. Rajendra Prasad.
Oh, that was great. That's fantastic. Then tell me one thing which is very interesting to note. I just learned that you were a CIA asset who went up the Nando Devi peak to plant what you are going to describe to monitor the Chinese nuclear this thing. So how did you get in touch with CIA?
See, the fact is that it was, you see, this covert operation was conducted by the Indian intelligence and CIA. And the main brain behind this was Biju Patnaik. He had a company, a organization called ARC, Aviation Research Center. I was not part of that. The thing is, I, having gone into the mountain during the war, 1962, I had some experience. So, at that time, the Defense Secretary was Harish Sarin. He called me up and said, Prithvi, you have to go on a mission. You are the most young climbers now we have in our list. You have to join. But I did not know where I was going. He sort of sent me, and one day he said, you pack up your rucksack, you be at Palam airport at such and such hours, and you will go for some training. I did not know where I was going. Later on I found that I was being taken to Alaska in the United States for being trained. There I knew, and I came to know that I was part of a team which was going to climb Nanda Devi, take up 40 kg of plutonium-238 to power the device. So I became a spy. Of course, I did not become by intention to become a spy, but I was made to be a spy. But just imagine, I traveled in China, I traveled in the area
for
where
this assignment, were you paid?
I was paid $1,000, which was 6 rupees and 90 paisa.
At that point of time?
Yeah, so I got little less than 7,000 rupees, which I put in my pocket and quit. I went away to England with that money.
So what was Biju Patnaik at that point of time? How was
Biju Patnaik was a most important man in Odisha, a very close associate of Nehru. He gave all the good or bad advice to him. He was the one who sent U-2 planes over China to monitor the nuclear tests which were going on at that time by China. So Biju Patnaik is the man who was behind all this.
Behind
yes,
all this.
Yes, very much.
So my next question is, you have met several very important world personalities in your life.
Yes.
Who do you think is the most charismatic leader? Who do you think is the most beautiful woman?
Well, I am a great admirer and a disciple of Dalai Lama. He has always given me the support, advice, and also his blessings. With his blessings, I have been going around. Another person with which blessings I go around is, who is second to him, is Sakyat Rizin. He lives next to my house in Dehradun, and without his permission I don't go anywhere. Without his blessing I don't go anywhere. So both Dalai Lama and Sakyat Rizin are like pillar
Of
in
strength.
front
to
of
you.
me and the strength.
Absolutely. These are most charismatic
Now,
persons.
now ladies, you are asking me. Well, when I started my career with HMV, I used to come across various artists, among them Wahida Rahman was, I had quite a good contact with her. She was very beautiful. As you know, she had worked in several films. And her, songs were sung by Lata Mangeshkar. So I used to call Lata Di. Even today, Lata Di, if I ask her to come to any performance, she would be most willing if she is well.
So you rate Raida Rahman and Lata Mangeshkar. Any other ladies who touched your heart?
Gayatri Devi and Edwina Mountbatten. You will ask why?
Yes.
Because one day I cycled down when I was only 7 or 8 years old to Viceroy's house, that is the present Rashtrapati Bhavan. And I went to the side door and asked the guard, an English guard standing with a rifle, I want to see the lady. She said, why do you have to see the lady? So I said, correct yourself, not lady, lady. I have to get some medicine for my dog. So I want to go and see her to get it because she has asked me to come and collect it. Oh, has she? Have you got a letter? Yeah. I said, yes, here is the letter. She said, yes, I went. So I got my medicine for my dog. Easy. Nowadays this is...
No, but why do you rate her as most beautiful? I mean, how did she touch your heart?
Because she was very kind. She asked whether I would like to have a drink. And I asked for a lemonade. And she herself brought the lemonade. Didn't ask her servant to bring it.
That kindness touched your heart. Now, coming back to the PLA, so you spied on the Chinese nuclear this thing, and how did the People's Liberation Army, knowing fully well that India and China are not the best of friends, they allowed you to travel to very sensitive areas?
You see, China does not care whether India spies or India does not spy. If they can understand that this man tells the truth and does not get or tries to be tough with anyone, they say you just can go. Another area you have talked about China. I did the same thing with Pakistan. In 2004, when Musharraf was the president, I wrote a letter and asked him that I would like to come and take photographs of the areas which you think the Indians should not visit. He gave me the visa and asked that you can go to any part. Even if you want, you can take photographs of nuclear installations.
So you went to China. Did you go to Pakistan?
Yes. In 2004, we traveled all over Pakistan. All over Pakistan, and we were most welcomed. And we were treated as locals.
So you went to China, you traveled all these areas, we saw it in the video about all these regions.
Yes.
Yes. And an entire locality.
Yes.
So if I have to ask you in one sentence, how was your experience there? What did you say?
Wonderful. The reason is that food is like this, and people, when we ate some jalebis or amriti at the Anarkali food court, this man would not take money. He said, "Aap hamare mehman hain." That is the love.
Speak Hindi.
Urdu or Hindi? Urdu.
In Xinjiang.
No, not Xinjiang. This is in Pakistan, I'm telling you.
Look, I'm talking about.
Xinjiang, they can speak Pashto, they can speak Urdu, and sign language.
So you had a good experience
Yeah.
in this area.
Yes. Even in China, the only thing is you have to be a non-vegetarian. If you are a vegetarian, well, you will have difficulties.
But then why do you think, lastly I just want to know, because you've traveled extensively in China, why do you think Chinese are so expansionist?
They are actually expansionist in many ways, in the sense how they have developed their industry. They have captured the entire world through their industrial development. They had nothing till 1989. Before 1989, I have seen China, and what I see now, China is a completely different world altogether. The Chinese are a determined person, or a race, I would say, right from the beginning. The British may have given them opium, but it did not deter them not to come up. What we have missed is that our people are lazy, whereas Chinese are very, very hardworking.
So that's why they would take, after 1962, as you mentioned, those huge areas.
Yes.
They have been able to take away
Yes.
from India. What was
It is.
actually
You see, those areas are all undemarcated.
undemarcated.
Undemarcated
Indian occupation.
under Indian occupation, but
And
the fact is that if we,
Indian territory.
yeah, it was Indian territory which was given to us through the British exchange when partition took place.
Absolutely.
But the question is that if we give away those areas on a platter, why you will also, I mean, if I give you a couple of crores on you will take it. So we have given to them.
So
Why
just
did we
one
not
last
give?
question,
Yeah.
in that area, Tibet, they call it an occupied Tibet at the moment. It's an occupied Tibet. The Chinese have occupied Tibet. So what is the Tibetan feeling? The people of Tibet, they want to be liberated. People all over the world, the Tibetans are fighting for their liberations. Do you think this will be a possibility in the future?
There was a time. The people of Tibet who had taken refuge, or they came as a refugee. Well, at that time there was a kind of a force in them that we must get back Tibet. But down the line, gradually that concept has died down, because what now they see, the Tibet is 100 times more developed than this part. So they look towards China, and the Chinese have taken the opportunity of giving them the religious freedom. Today they are reconstructing the Buddhist monasteries all over China. All over China they are reconstructing it. They do not make any. Only thing, I cannot carry a photograph of Dalai Lama, because they think he might be a troublemaker.
So what we have been to say, that it will be, although they are fighting a very hard battle, but it will be difficult for them to really regain Tibet at the moment. Whatever Chinese have occupied, it will be a very, very long, drawn, lengthy battle for to get it back from them. Of course, your experience.
You see, it is like this. Tibet, after 1959, the biggest power in this world, Americans, including India, accepted that Tibet is an integral part of China. They accepted it. India accepted. It is not that they have not accepted. The Americans have accepted it.
But then the perceptions have changed, even if they have accepted. I mean, we are not going to go back to that, because there is a lot of debate on the issue. But whatever your experience says, that at the moment it will be very difficult, but then the Tibetans are struggling. They will carry on their struggle. They are going ahead with one point to the another to get back their land, but it will be a long drawn struggle.
You see, a very small population of the Tibetans are really interested that they want to go back. They don't want to go back.
But then Dalai Lama is very keen.
Dalai Lama is also not so keen, because he says that I am reconciled with the situation, and this will not change, and let both China, India and us be together and see what comes out of it. But unfortunately, there are political reasons which is keeping these elements apart.
Absolutely.
Now I will explain. Definitely, I will before I show my adventure or our adventure. I will be able to give you a little bit of more background. So Avijit, come here. Now you were asking me some questions.
Thank you very much, Prithvi. It was a real surprise because he acted on the absolute impromptu. I was not ready for it. So the library committee gave him a very wonderful introduction. But what I feel really proud about is the fact that, of course, I'm a journalist, and what I feel really proud about is the fact that Prithvi Chaudhuri was our CIA asset. Now, I don't know of anybody in India who was ever a CIA asset and who has done a thing what Prithvi did. And I'm very proud to the fact that I'm a member of Tollygunge Club, Prithvi is a member of Tollygunge Club, and one of ours had climbed so high up the ladder. He's a versatile talent. He has done so many things in life, and at the young age of 83, the man standing here and will show us something that we have never seen before. So I wish everybody to give him a warm round of applause, please. Thank you very much.
Well, Abhijit has exaggerated a bit of it. You see, maybe I spied against the China, but what you will see in this 1 hour of this video, you will see that the People's Liberation Army was very, very kind enough to let me go to any part of China, right from Tibet to the other part of the desert. Now, you wanted to ask me something else.
Yes, that's very interesting because you spied against China for CIA, and then again you was a PLA host.
Yes.
Anyway, so that is very ironical. Now, first thing that I wanted to ask you is what is Akshay Chin? I mean, not very many people out here, at least not me, are fully aware of what Akshay Chin is all about. Can you just run us through about Akshay Chin, please?
Yeah, I'll do so. The fact is that Akshay Chin is northwest of Jammu and Kashmir, and Akshay Chin was part of the entire Kashmir, Jammu Kashmir, and the area which is now under the POK till the border of Xinjiang or Xinjiang, now the Chinese call. The entire area belonged to Indians. And the most interesting is that I can see my good friend, one of the gentlemen who is a Sikh. The Sikh controlled the entire Jammu Kashmir, Ladakh, Aksai Chin, and what now is Baltistan or Hunza Gilgit, which is part of the POK, was belonged to the Sikhs in 1843. And Maharaja Ranjit Singh, when he lost the war with the British in the Sikh war at Gujranwal, Punjab, Ranjit Singh sold for 75 lakh Nanak Rupiah the entire Aksai Chin and part of Ladakh and Kashmir. Now the thing is that as soon as the British took over, they made a line called the Durand Line, which goes right from Nepal Himalayas to the Karakorams to the Pamirs. Part of the Pamirs is now under partly China and partly Afghanistan and also part of Pakistan. Aksai Chin means land of the white stone. Now, what is this white stone? The area, approximately 43,000 square kilometers, is enriched with radioactive materials like plutonium, uranium, and most important, some of the saltwater lakes in those areas and adjacent are the only source of the lithium. If at any time the China decides that I am not going to give you any lithium or make any lithium batteries, ladies and gentlemen, all your mobile phone, computers, everything will go kaput. It is not going to work. So the interesting part is that why China is so keen to keep those areas under control. Two strategic reasons. One is it is a corridor. They have built one of the magnificent roads which is called the Aksai Chin Highway or the Highway 219. It goes right from through Tibet as well as through the deserts of Taklamakan. Now, what is Taklamakan desert? It is a desert. A part of the desert is near Turpan, which is called Tarim Bezin, is approximately 500 meters lower than the sea level. That is, it is like the Dead Sea. The deserts are absolutely, stark and almost unpenetrable. You can see what I did was to bring two gates. Now, in Uyghur language, Taklamakan means you enter, but you never come back. You never come back. So maybe in some of the visuals. So what I have done is I have splitted this visual, which is approximately 55 minutes. I'll take you through. First is our journey, which starts. We go to Hong Kong. From Hong Kong, we take flights to Kunming, and from Kunming, we start our journey by a Land Rover. 6,000 kilometers of travel on a Land Rover, only two bongs. And I sit on the seat next to the driver. In Tibet and China now, the driver is it is a left-hand drive, not right-hand drive. So what I did was, I requested my guide. In most of the case, the guides were ladies, pretty ladies. They used to sit at the back with Ramola. And it was wonderful to see that probably she also had a revolver in hand. If I was doing any mischief, she would put me behind the bars. But luckily, I saved myself. So, if anything more you want to ask me about Aksai Chin, I'll tell you.
I just want to know.
But I don't want to keep them waiting to see the movie.
I have got one small question.
Tell me.
You have traveled so far in Aksai Chin. Now, was Aksai Chin ever a part of India?
Well, that is it. You see, Aksai Chin was a part of India prior to 1962. The entire Aksai Chin, I'll show you. Just now, I'll just explain to you, just before I start. Aksai Chin was part of India, 100%, because from Kunlun Shan to where the present LAC they call, almost 250 kilometers from what previously Durand line was and what is the present LAC we call, and where we are asking the Chinese to go back. So they are going back 3 kilometers, but what about the rest 275 kilometers? So, no, not 47, 250 kilometers odd at different places, almost 300 kilometers. So, that area was ours, and I don't know whether we shall ever be able to get it back, because in 1962 I was airdropped. I was part of the mountain regiment or mountain battalion of the 8th Gurkhas. I moved from Baramulla. They brought me to Chandigarh, put me into a AN-12 and dropped me from approximately 3,000 feet. I never knew whether I would be able to land or I will not be able to land. But I am still here standing before you. So that is it. That is my story. But you will see more of it when actually you see this travel. Now that the thing is that what I would like to explain, the travel, what you would see is that as if it is moving and not much of narration, as if you are sitting next to me, I am the driver, and you are taking the photographs either on your mobile or on your camera, landscape. And luckily, the guide sitting at the back, she says, okay, play some music so that you don't fall asleep. So that is how the story will go, and you will see it.
Absolutely, Prithvi. So we just can't wait to see Akshay Chin. And as Prithvi said, Akshay Chin was a part of India at one point of time, but I don't know whether we'll ever going to get it back. I leave it to the better judgment of everybody here, and also to another expert on Akshay Chin, who is also sitting there right and the left, Mr. Anil Mukherjee. He has also done a lot of thing on this area in LAC.
Anil, will you just come for 2 minutes and tell them about a little bit, because you know a lot of it. Please come. Please.
Yeah, we have let them watch what Akshay Chin is. Let us all watch what Akshay Chin is,
Okay,
and then
fine,
maybe
fine,
he
fine,
will.
fine,
Yeah,
fine.
absolutely.
Learned a lot from Prithvi Narayan Chaudhuri about not only China, a bit of Pakistan where he has travelled, about Tibet and the Chinese occupied Tibet, and also a glimpse of his vast experience. Thank you for joining
Thank
ANM
you.
News,
Thank you.
Prithvi.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for sharing your
Thank
wonderful
you.
experience.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And we will definitely
Thank you.
come back with more such
Thank you.
interesting
Thank you.
interviews.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Namaskar. Keep watching ANM.
Thank you.